Today, the global economy looks advanced on the surface, but underneath, something feels unstable and increasingly difficult to understand. Artificial intelligence is now automating white-collar work first, jobs that depend on thinking, analysis, and information rather than physical production. These workers are also the biggest spenders in modern economies, so when their income becomes uncertain, overall spending begins to slow down. People still need food, housing, healthcare, and energy, but their confidence to spend beyond essentials starts to disappear. When spending slows while costs remain high, pressure builds across the entire system, from individuals to businesses to governments. What makes this moment different is that machines are learning to compete in thinking tasks, not just physical labor. AI can now write, analyze, design, and manage information faster and cheaper than many humans. But while thinking work is being automated rapidly, the physical world is not changing at the same speed. Factories, farms, housing, and energy systems still depend heavily on slow, expensive, human-driven processes. Real infrastructure takes time, often many years, because it involves safety, regulation, construction, testing, and political approval. Software can scale in months because it lives entirely in the digital world. But an AI-driven economy still runs on electricity, factories, transport, and food. A single large power plant typically takes 8 to 15 years to plan, approve, build, and connect to the grid. And without massive, reliable energy, AI and robots simply cannot operate at real-world scale. Most modern large power plants produce roughly 1 to 3 gigawatts of electricity, enough to power a few million homes or a limited number of industrial systems. An AI and robotics-heavy economy would require many times today's global electricity production, not just better software. As digital systems accelerate, people become more connected, more informed, and yet more anxious at the same time. Job insecurity increases stress, even for people who are still employed, because the future feels unpredictable. At the same time, prices continue to rise because supply is not expanding fast enough to meet demand. Governments feel pressure from all sides, citizens, markets, and institutions, while having limited tools to act quickly. This creates a painful transition phase where income is disrupted before abundance is created. The long-term solution is not more digital apps, but large-scale automation of physical production. Robots expanding into manufacturing, construction, and logistics can dramatically increase real-world supply. Old systems may need to be replaced or rebuilt before new, more efficient ones can take over. When production becomes cheaper and more abundant, prices naturally fall instead of rising. In that kind of economy, work is no longer about survival, but about choice, creativity, and contribution. The future has the potential to be stable and abundant, but only if the transition is managed carefully. AI did not create this crisis by being powerful. It revealed what happens when automation arrives in the wrong order. If global capital continues flowing mainly into short-term AI software instead of robots, energy, agriculture, housing, and logistics, this transition could take many decades. With coordinated investment in physical automation, it could happen within a generation, roughly 20 to 40 years. But without that shift, progress slows, inequality grows, and instability increases. And any major global conflict would delay this transition further, not by years, but by entire decades. The future can still be peaceful and abundant, but only if investment priorities change in the present.